and white. That's all the Raiders were better in black and white anyway. I can go black and silver. Oh my gosh, Al Davis, right? Talk about a character, right? He's a good New Yorker, though.
I hear you.
So that's why he looks like that. And, you know, I own the right to produce with the name, but I don't have the copyright for their stories. He's a boxer. My guy's in MMA.
All right.
Ready? Yep.
Yeah, we're talking to Joe Antonacci. Joe, you reinvented my favorite comic of all time. Actually, it was Joe Palooka and Will Lavner back in the day. How did you reinvent the Joe Palooka comics, and what made you decide to make him an MMA fighter?
What happened was the trademark had been abandoned. No one had done anything with the Joe Palooka name in 20 some odd years. And I love Joe Palooka also. I loved the comic strip as a kid, yeah. As a kid, I loved the comic strip. Every day I'd run home from school to see what happened to Joe, you know. And what happened was I hired a trademark attorney. I obtained the trademark that gives me the right to produce a comic book, clothing, whatever I ask for in my trademark application using the Palooka name. I decided to bring him back as an MMA fighter because I think MMA right now is the most exciting sport out there. I'm a boxing ring announcer. I'm a boxing fan. I'll always be a boxing fan. But right now, 2011, the type of fans that are coming here, you see, talking to Mike, I think MMA was definitely the right way to go.
Are you going to include some of the fighters like in the comic book, like RENZO or Matt Hughes or Rampage Jackson or John Jones? You know?
I actually have a deal in place with different UFC fighters. Sugar Rashad Evans wants to be in the book. Brendan Schaub, who we've sponsored, is going to be in the book. Johnny Hendricks, because of his great beard, he's going to be in the book. So I have the entire Black Zillions crew, right? All the Black Zillions. That's Rumble Johnson, all the Cavalcantes, right? All the entire Black Zillions crew. And Joe Palooka is actually just the beginning. After Joe Palooka, we have a second comic called Legion of Combat, which is the fight league that Joe Palooka fights in. 8 billionaires each own a franchise. It's fiction. And
maybe you put Donald Trump in there.
He might. I need an owner for Team USA. I need an American billionaire to own Team USA. But each team is owned by a billionaire. And what they do is they take this ultra-modern stadium. It's on a cruise ship. And then on fight day, they lift it off with helicopters and drop it at the scene of the fight. Roman Coliseum. In front of the pyramids when the fight's in Egypt. When England's hosting a home match, it's going to be dropped in front of Stonehenge. In the U.S., we're going to drop it on Liberty Island, which is technically in New Jersey, so MMA is legal, and we're going to have it there. But can you imagine visually this ultra-modern arena retrofitted on a customized cruise ship that the billionaires built? So who goes to this event? It'll be about 5,000 celebrities. They'll come on the cruise ship on Tuesday.
People like Stallone.
Right.
Lady Gaga, Bruce
Paris
Willis,
Hilton,
Paris
right?
Hilton.
All the fun celebrities that we love watching on TMZ. And what's going to happen is Tuesday they'll get on the ship. Wednesday will be a press conference. Thursday's a meet and greet. Friday is weigh-ins, and then Saturday they all get into the arena. It gets lifted by helicopter and dropped at the exotic location in front of the Christ of the Andes statue in Brazil, Great Wall of China. I'm going to take people to places they've never been. You know, it's like a travelogue. There's going to be adventure. There's going to be action. Of course, there's going to be fighting, and we're so excited now. One thing, there's no cage. They fight in a glass cylinder, solid glass cylinder that gets raised up and they enter, and then it gets lowered. And so it's a glass cylinder. Above that glass cylinder is a holographic light image. So you can, when you're in this fictitious stadium arena, you can look and watch the fighters live, or you can watch a giant holographic image up the circle above them. And then the image continues up, and outside the arena, a giant circular cylinder of light is emitted, and you can watch the fight. So literally 5,000 people could watch it inside the arena, and 100,000 could sit in the Roman Coliseum outside the arena that's been dropped in, and they could watch it. So I was just describing this to someone, and somebody said, that's like one of the most visually striking images that I could ever imagine. That's Legion of Combat. And in Legion of Combat, each team is going to have the right to bring in one wild card fighter. That's where Rashad comes in. That's where, Kenflo, if Kenny wants to come in, right? So, Kenflo. So, if...
Have you spoken to Kenny?
I've spoken with Authentic Sports Management, right, which is Glenn Robinson. They just bought Jocko, the clothing line. Glenn is like, I want my fighters in there. Kenny's one of his fighters. I'd love to have Kenny either maybe as a consultant or as a fighter, as a coach. I want these guys to get involved however they like to get involved. And the reaction to the fighters, I know if anyone ever asked me, would you like to be in a comic book? Of course. Where do I sign? So I couldn't be happier. The reaction at Comic-Con, now you never know what the reaction is going to be. Are they going to love it? Are they going to hate it? Are comic book fans MMA fans and vice versa? The answer is unequivocally yes. They like action. They like action heroes. What better real-life action heroes are there than the UFC fighters?
It's better than the Avengers, better than Superman. Who knows?
Well, they're real life action heroes. No superpowers except the heart that makes them a great competitor.
Who's going to be the biggest evildoer? Is Brock going to be in there, or
well,
Chael Sonnen?
Chael, I talked to him at UFC 133 in Philly. He loved the idea. If I could get him involved, I might not need a publicist anymore. There isn't a better publicist or a better mouthpiece than Chael, as long as he's talking positively about you, than Chael Sonnen. But he loved the concept, wanted to get involved on both a professional and a personal level. He wanted to get involved, so that's something we'll look at the possibility of that. The heels, the villains will probably be fictionalized, because remember, Joe Palooka is a fictionalized character, so his friends could be MMA heroes. We could have a villain. Maybe a fighter will say, "Hey, put me in, but only if you make me a bad guy." In that case, we're more than happy to. We're not looking to make anybody look bad, but obviously there will be villains. Now, understand, these are 8 billionaire owners, so some of the owners hate each other and might be nefarious villains, as they say. So there is actually going to be some attempted terrorism involved, right? Some people are going to want to damage the arena. When the ship goes out, you never know, it could be attacked by pirates, right, when it goes to Egypt. Well, let me tell you something. If any pirates attack a ship with the Black Zillions, Rashad Evans, Joe Palooka, and all these MMA fighters, they might be in for a little bit of a surprise. That, my friends, is an issue of Legion of Combat that you will not want to miss.
And who knows, maybe, Joe, you bring back Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, that's a classic from the past. We could actually maybe have one of the fighters channel Bruce Lee and try and remember the lessons that Bruce taught to all martial artists through his unfortunately short life.
Will this Joe Palooka, will he be the same as the early comic where he was a good guy, and I remember he lifted weights, he started doing, he didn't lift weights, he started doing push-ups,
right,
and all kinds of exercises, strengthened his body, and then he became a protector of the weak.
Right. Our Joe Palooka has a heart of gold. He is a good guy. He has a good, strong moral values. He grew up very tough. He grew up as his entire family were migrant farmers in Southern California. They worked the farms. He won 3 state wrestling championships at 3 different high schools in my fictionalized story, because they moved around so much. A migrant farmer follows the crops. That's all there is to it. Now, if you think about it, you have a situation here where he grows up on a farm. A lot of Mexican Americans on the farm with him in Southern California. He gets religion. He gets spirituality. He gets all the good, strong things. And I don't care if it's Judaism, Christianity, Islam. If you're a good person and you believe in good things and you believe in helping other people, as he does, I think that's something that anyone can relate to. But in Joe Palooka, if you go to Palooka.com, and if your fans download the 15-page free issue, they can also, for a limited time, get issue 1 and issue 2 for $1.99. Now, I mean, that's an unbelievable bargain, but if they see a word to the wise. If you see my character Joe Palooka take off his rosary beads, somebody's getting their